Hey everybody, it's Vanessa with Clemens Crafts. So I am coming to you today to show you 55 different decorated glassine bags that I created for the Southern Magnolia Craft Retreat that is being hosted by Randy and Sheila with Boho Daydreams in North Carolina next week, and I'm super excited. Oh wait, nope. I think it's like a couple of weeks. But anyway, I'm not going to publish this till after the retreat. Till after the ladies have received their gift boxes at the retreat, because I will be a vendor there, and as a participant in the retreat, we are gifting every attendee a box, and everyone contributes something. So my contribution is going to be these decorated glassine bags with vintage photos in them. So I wanted to just kind of show you what I had made. They are created with vintage lace. This I bought, it was a leftover earring, and I got it at a sale. Isn't that adorable? I've got my light handy here so I can kind of show you. Isn't that beautiful? Then this is an actual piece of ephemera that I had in my stash, and I scanned it and then printed it on cotton and added a beautiful piece of vintage lace there, and it is backed on canvas cloth. This is a vintage, and I know I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Alphonse Mucha. Don't even laugh. I am from Tennessee, okay, y'all? But it's his artwork, and I love it, and it's French, and I had to have some of it. And this is a beautiful cluster, and there's some lace on there. And this is another one of his art pieces here. And another cluster of vintage lace. You can see it's kind of grungy, which I love. Thought that the darkness and the lace went really well. This is one of my favorites. I added some purple sari. I did get the sari ruffle from Stacy at Two Sister Jam. And this trim is from my stepmother's floral shop. And there's a cluster I made for that one with vintage buttons. This one is I love this one. And I actually created that using a button from Boho Crafty Chica. This is a neutral that I created, lots of layer lace. This is a digital, and I will look up the name of this and have it in the description box. This digital, I did get this off Etsy, and I printed it on matte sticker paper. And there's some vintage, beautiful lace. This is an antique cabinet card on layers of lace. Another beautiful button that I received from Boho Crafty Chica. I thought she went very well with her. This is from the digital that I posted in Junk Journal Junction and Boho Daydreams as part of a free winter digital. I had the wonderful Diane help me with, see the shiny? She was giving me lessons on how to do this, so I really enjoyed that. And this was made during one of my live craft alongs on Friday. And here's another neutral with a cute little cluster. This was a piece of ephemera. It was a postcard that I had, and I scanned it and then printed it out and mounted it on a piece of sturdy packaging. And there's some more of that beautiful trim. Vintage photo there with some French book page and French music page with another little piece of that digital on sticker paper. Here's another neutral. And this one was created, I used Graphics Fairy French ephemera, and I printed it on fabric and then created that little cluster there. This one I like is very simple. This is from the free winter digital that I shared in the group. These two, as you can see, are very similar. These came from the same piece of vintage linen that I had in my stash. This one I added one of Sheila's cute dangle beads there. And this one is a vintage photo on top of some Florentine paper that I got from Crafted by Christy. And if you hear snoring, that is my dog. She's right under my feet. So this is a vintage photo. And that is a hidden paper clip with a piece of Sheila trim on it there. This one I love so much. Very neutral. And I created that little cluster with just a little rag bow there. And this is a vintage photo that came already mounted on some cardboard there. And look at that dangle. Isn't it cute? I love that dangle. And then that is some of Sheila's sari there. And it is mounted on top of an embossed piece of cardstock. This is a piece of ephemera that I had in my collection, and I simply printed it onto fabric and mounted it on some blue fabric with a dangle that I got in Happy Mail. I love this one, the little sailor and his girl there. And that's one of my favorite clusters I've ever made. And the dangle is from Boho Crafty Chica. I got that last year at our retreat. This is from, this is a French check that I put in as part of a free digital in Junk Journal Junction and Boho Daydreams, and a cluster there with a little dangle bead that I got in Happy Mail. This is just some lace with some vintage velvet ribbon and a button from Boho Crafty Chica. This one I just finished last night during our live craft and chat. This is my Tim Holtz one. Yes, that's some Tim Holtz packaging. And I just added some of his ephemera and one of his snapshots there. This is another one I finished last night. This is an authentic antique ad for Lion Coffee. And that beautiful little cluster there. This one, I love the lace on this one, and I wanted it to pop with a little bit of red. It has some netting there, some tulle, however you want to say it. There's another vintage postcard that was cut down with some dyed pink crochet lace and a little vintage pink button with a lace ruffle that I got at a sale. It was either Erin, might have been Erin that made those. And then this is a beautiful neutral that I love so much. And that is a hidden paper clip right there. And I love it. And I wish I had a million more of those because they're beautiful. And this is another image from the winter digital that I posted in the groups. And it has a little bit of shine that I added to it. And I added some shine to the cluster there. Another vintage photo. And there's the rest of that ruffle that I had used. Another vintage postcard with some of Stacy's Sorry ruffle and some vintage buttons. This one I left really neutral. It has layers of lace on it with canvas as a background. Love this lace. I think I've got another one. Yes, here is another one very similar to it, with more of a coffee dyed background. This is some of tailor-made journals. I love these. I made these. I did stamp canvas with archival ink and then simply added a piece of lace. Look at those stamps. I love her stamps. And that's an old vintage rose that I added a little bit of colored ink to match the brown there. And this is the front of another vintage postcard and one of Sheila's dangles here. I thought the blues looked really good together. You could tell I'm a big fan of his. Here's another one of his postcards. And this is some very old lace. I still had some fray, so I left it. And then this dangle came in a Happy Mail, and it was just perfect. It was the perfect color to coordinate with that. And there's another one. And this one is so beautiful. I thought it was gorgeous for spring. It has the appliques in the really cheery colors. This one is very plain. It is just a large piece of sari trim. And to me, there was nothing I could add to make that more beautiful than it already was. I love that one. There's a piece of our wallpaper digital there with some French music and book page. Little button cluster there. And another one. There's one of TaylorMade's that I'd left out. This one I left very plain, just in case someone liked very just neutral, no frills there. There's another one. And this one is a little more sturdy. It's mounted on some cardstock with some yellow crochet lace behind it. And I love, can you tell how much I love Stacy's Sorry ruffles? And this one has another hidden paper clip at the top and some layers there. This one I had fun with. This one is made with some vintage ribbon that I had from my stepmother's floral shop, and I just layered it there and then created the little ruffle. This was fun. So this is, of course, the same digital, except this time I printed it on canvas. And then I had printed some little birds and tore the canvas down and just attached it there. Same thing here. This French label was actually from a piece of vintage lace that I had received, and I just scanned it and made more. This was a piece of fabric from a Happy Mail. I mounted it on top of canvas. That label there is from Graphics Fairy. I simply printed it onto cotton. That is a hidden paper clip with a little dangle there. So they can take that on and off if they wish. I love the colors in this one. This is one of my favorites. And again, the label is from Graphics Fairy. And I just printed that on canvas. And I actually sewed that sorry ruffle myself. Gosh, because I was out of Stacy's. But that's it. This is the Glassine bags. These are the Glassine bags for the retreat. And I'm so excited. Now I've got to get these things stuffed and get them shipped to Miss Randy. And thank you for all of your help. If you guys help me make these on Fridays, I really appreciate your feedback so much. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.